Sorry,
They're still on, so.
Have you talked to him in a while?
no, we had a birthday celebration. I don't remember what it was. I went to some birthday celebration for him, and I haven't seen him since then. That's been a while ago.
You remember Stacy Brown? Have you ever heard anything from her?
I have no idea where she is. I don't even know if she's in Dallas.
For some reason, I got the idea she moved off Florida or moved back to Florida or something.
Oh, really?
Well, I
I
think
don't
you told me.
Oh, really? Will you watch this stuff just for a second?
I don't know.
Some people were out of work, of course, I want to stand here. I think I was very much one. Wait till you see mine. Elephants are the same.
Yes, I did. I just put, before, oh, where is that? I think it's over there behind you somewhere. Okay. I just saw one.
We heard you, Judge, and said you were stopping.
You started looking, so I didn't know if you said something.
All rise. Please be seated. And would you please raise your right hand? You need to look at me. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, would you state your name for the record?
Angelica Gordon.
And for the court reporter, would you spell your first and last name, please?
ANGELICAGORDON.
And Ms. Gordon, you're not feeling very well right now, are you?
I am not.
So we'll try to see if we can get you in and out of here. But you wanted to be here today so that you don't have to come back after today. That's your fair statement?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you about some of your background. Now, are you currently working right now?
I am.
And where do you work?
I'm a manager at Pizza Hut.
Do you have to work tonight?
I do.
You're still going to try and make it to work?
I'm a driver.
Back in August of 2015, was there a period of time where you didn't have a place to stay?
Yes, sir.
And back in August of 2015, did you run into a gentleman by the name of Kelly Ellis?
Yes, sir.
Did you know Kelly Ellis?
Yes, sir.
Previously, I think, in fact, you had dated Kelly's brother.
Yes, sir.
Was there also a period of time where you lived with Kelly and his brother?
Yes, sir.
And things happened, you and his brother stopped dating, you move on with your life.
Yes, sir.
Something took place where you needed a place to stay, and you ran into Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Did Kelly offer you, basically, you can come crash where I'm crashing?
After I had told him the circumstances, yes, sir.
And where was that?
In Surrey Road.
Surrey Road? What part of town is Surrey Road?
Oak Cliff, Texas.
Now, you had some other circumstances going on with you at that same time.
Yes, sir.
You were on probation,
Yes, sir.
and you had done something to violate your probation.
Yes, sir.
And in exchange for Tarrant County agreeing to keep you on probation, they were requiring you to go to jail on the weekends.
Yes, sir.
To go to where?
Requiring you to go to jail on the weekends.
Yes, sir.
What day would you go in?
Friday night.
And when would you be released?
Monday morning.
And was Kelly made aware of that circumstance?
Yes, sir.
Now, during the time that you were at Kelly's place, did you also come to know a gentleman by the name of Kristopher Love?
I did.
What kind of relationship did you observe between Kristopher Love and Kelly Ellis?
They sold drugs together.
The place that where Kelly was staying, or you were crashing, is that sometimes what's called a trap house?
Yes, sir.
And through those two gentlemen, did you end up meeting a woman by the name of Crystal Cortez?
I did.
Did you also come to know a woman by the name of Brenda Delgado?
I did.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Looking at states 218, who's this?
Kelly Ellis.
States 224,
Chris Love.
state 79,
Brenda
Brenda,
Delgado.
states 87.
Crystal, I don't know her last name.
But you knew her as Crystal.
Yes.
Now, you were only, or would you say you were only in that place for about 2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
During that 2-week time frame, were there occasions that you saw all 4 of these individuals together having discussions on Surrey Road?
3 of the individuals.
Which 3 of the individuals did you see having discussions during the time that you were staying in that trap house?
Crystal, Brenda, and Chris.
Now, do you recall how many times you saw them having discussions?
Maybe 2 or 3 times at the kitchen table.
And when they would come over, have the discussions, did they speak English?
Brenda did not. Crystal spoke English for Brenda. Chris did speak English.
Would Crystal translate for Brenda?
Yes, sir.
Were you made aware of the subject of those conversations?
No, sir, not right off the bat.
At some point in time, did you become aware of the subject of those conversations?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the subject of those conversations?
Cocaine, drugs, the cartel.
Now, Kelly Ellis, having known him for the period of time that you knew him, and you said 3 individuals, is there a reason Kelly Ellis was not part of those conversations?
Judge, speculation or hearsay?
Did you know?
Do you know why Kelly Ellis would not have been made part of those
Does
conversations?
she know based on personal knowledge, or does she know based on what somebody told her?
If you know me.
Personal knowledge.
Permission to take her on 1 hour.
Okay. Well, all right.
Do you know this because somebody told you?
No.
No. No objection.
Kelly's an idiot. You wouldn't tell Kelly anything that she would want to get out in general.
So anything that might or could possibly lead to somebody getting in trouble or causing problems,
Kelly's going to be the snitch.
you would not want Kelly to know.
Nope.
And you know this from having known him and having lived with him.
For a little bit over 5 years.
Pass the witness.
Going back to this, number 1, you previously testified in the trial of Kristopher Love, correct?
I did.
And you were sitting there, and this person that you say is Brenda Delgado is a person that, based on your memory, you observed Crystal Cortez translating from English to Spanish and Spanish to English in these conversations.
Yes, sir.
So that would mean that you would obviously then know that Crystal can speak both Spanish and English, correct?
Yes, sir.
And from what you observed, Brenda Delgado needed the assistance of a translator to speak the person that you're talking about, this person down in that apartment, this person, female, needed the assistance of a translator to speak to Kristopher Love.
Talking about Brenda herself?
What I'm getting at is, you watched this, you saw this person speak Spanish to Crystal Cortez, correct?
Correct.
Then you saw Crystal Cortez say something to Kristopher Love.
Correct.
Kristopher Love, I assume, only speaks English.
Correct.
So Kristopher Love would then respond to Crystal Cortez in English, correct?
Correct.
And then Crystal Cortez would then repeat what had been said in Spanish.
Correct.
That's witness.
One other thing, Ms. Gordon, you were only there for a short period of time, but was there a morning, roughly around the 1st, 2nd of September, you recall Brenda Delgado showing up at that apartment on Surrey Road?
Brenda and Crystal.
Brenda and Crystal?
Yes, sir.
And was that around 7 a.m. in the morning?
It was early. I can't give you an exact time. I was the one who opened the door, but I do not know what time exactly.
And were the two of them together?
Yes, sir.
And who were they looking for?
Chris.
Was he there at that time?
No, he was not.
Did they eventually find Chris that day?
I believe so. They never came back.
Pass the witness.
Nothing?
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. You're free to leave the courthouse. You're excused. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Would you introduce yourself to the jury?
Okay. My name is Milton Martinez.
And would you spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
First name's Milton, M-I-L-T-O-N. Last name Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z.
I'm going to take you back to 2015, approximately February of 2015. What type of work were you doing back then?
I was selling vehicles.
Did you have a car dealership that you owned?
Yes, I did.
And where was it located?
603 South Buckner,
And what part of town is that in?
Southeast Dallas.
Pleasant Grove area?
Correct.
I'm sorry?
Correct.
And did you have an employee by the name of Roberto Menendez?
Yes, I did.
And was he one of your salesmen?
Yes.
Do you recall meeting a woman by the name of Brenda Delgado during that time frame?
Yes.
How did that come about?
I've known Brenda Delgado. We went to school together.
So y'all went to high school together?
Correct.
Being a high school acquaintance, is that one of the reasons she came to your dealership for a car?
That is correct.
And having known her for high school, had y'all been hanging out on a regular basis since high school?
No.
When would you say is the time frame between leaving high school and the last time you saw her before this occasion in February of 2015?
It's 15 years.
Nonetheless, she shows up, and you recall what type of car she's looking for?
Correct. Lexus.
And what steps did you take to find that Lexus?
I researched the type of Lexus that she wanted until I found it.
Did she have a specific Lexus in mind?
No, not necessarily.
Was there a certain color or
Yes, white
accessories?
color, something light color.
Something light color?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to find that car?
2 months, maybe less.
And once you found the car, obviously you notified her that it's here, or I found something. You have it brought in.
That is correct.
She comes in to buy the car.
That is correct.
After that, do the two of y'all kind of start getting reacquainted with each other?
Objection, Your Honor. Ladies of witness.
What happened between the two of y'all after she bought the car?
We just hung a couple of times out. We hang out a couple times.
During the times that you hung out, would she ever mention the name of an ex-boyfriend or a woman by the name of Kendra Hatcher?
I didn't get a name in particular, just people she was dealing with, which is a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, or boyfriend that she was just upset with.
Did she ever mention a new girlfriend of that ex-boyfriend?
I didn't get her name at that time.
Did you know there was a new girlfriend for that ex-boyfriend?
I did not know.
Was there an occasion where Brenda Delgado made you very uncomfortable by asking you something?
That is correct.
What did she ask you?
If I knew anybody that can just hurt someone.
For her?
Correct.
And how did you respond to that?
Not interested in knowing. That was pretty much it. I'm not interested in just finding out what's going on. So I just let it go.
Were there other things that you also told her in response to you not being interested?
Drop it.
What did you mean by drop it?
Just whatever you got going on, just drop it.
You see Brenda Delgado in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. Would you point to her and describe how she's dressed?
She was wearing glasses with a black shirt.
How let the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant in open court? Or approach the witness room? We have just a moment, John.
Yes, sir.
Approach the witness room. Mr. Martinez, you recall that you have testified previously in a prior trial involving these individuals. You recall that?
Correct.
If you would, sir, right here, this highlighted portion, read it to yourself, not out loud. This is a transcript of your previous testimony, starting here. Read it to yourself, don't read it out loud.
That is correct.
And so it's true then that previously you testified that Brenda Delgado asked you if you knew somebody that could hurt Paniagua and Mrs. Hatcher.
Objection to leading as well as hearsay.
It's his own testimony, Judge. Just to refresh his memory.
I sustain this on you.
Is it true that she asked you if you knew somebody that could hurt somebody?
Yeah, objection leading.
Sustain, rephrase.
Did Brenda Delgado ever mention the name Ricardo Paniagua to you? After having your memory refreshed,
Did she name, I didn't know his first name, just his last name.
did she mention the name Ms. Hatcher to you?
I didn't know her name, just knew of her.
When she asked you if you knew anybody that could hurt somebody, what was your response to her?
I said, no, I'm not interested.
And what else did you tell her?
Drop it. Whatever you think, you just drop it.
May I reapproach him?
Yes, sir.
And sir, I'm asking you to take a look at prior testimony by you.
It's true.
What is true?
If we're friends, don't get involved in
Narrative,
it.
I don't have any way of objecting to what is true.
He's overruled.
Yes.
All I pretty much said, just rephrasing it back, just if we're friends, just, just drop it, pretty much. Don't get me involved. Friends shouldn't get friends involved.
So was it plain to you what she was asking you to do or asking you about was wrong?
That is correct.
Pass the witness.
No questions.
Thank you, sir. You may stand down. You're free to leave the courthouse. You're excused.
Your Honor, state calls Seth Rosenberg. May I approach
Sorry?
Seth Rosenberg.
And-
May I approach the court reporter, please?
Yes, yes, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute. Good afternoon, sir. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
I'm Detective Seth Rosenberg from the Crime Scene Unit.
Detective Rosenberg, how are you currently employed? Crime scene unit where?
For the Dallas Police Department.
Okay, that's the same unit that Abe Santiago and Detective Oviedo are in, or were in, Santiago, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in that unit?
For about 9 years.
Prior to being in that unit, where were you assigned, Detective Rosenberg?
I was in patrol and I was in deployment.
And you're a police officer certified under the laws of our state, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been a police officer in total, including your time at the crime scene unit?
18 years in a month.
Detective, would you please tell the jury a little bit about your qualifications to hold the job you have in the crime scene unit?
Applied for the position. I'm one of the last officers, I should say, to work in crime scene now. We had a month-long school of taking photographs, learning how the camera works, taking fingerprints, collecting evidence, collecting DNA, and having to pass these qualifications within this month.
And I'm sure it's fair to say that you have worked thousands and thousands of crime scenes.
Yes, sir.
I want to direct your attention to one particular location on September 16th of 2015, where you dispatched out to the Dallas Auto Pound to conduct processing of a Lexus.
Yes, sir.
And how did you get out to that location? What was the call you received?
Oh, I just got a call by Homicide Detective Barnes to go out there and process the vehicle.
While you were out there, did you take pictures of the vehicle? The jury's already heard about the process of processing a vehicle. Did you take pictures and collect items
Yes,
from
sir.
that vehicle?
Yes, sir, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Detective, I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 115 through 132. Are these pictures you took of the white Lexus that you processed on September 16th?
Yes, sir.
Is this what it looked like that day?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, State's Exhibit 115 is already in evidence, but I offer State's Exhibits 116 through 132.
No objection.
Detective, up on the screen, the jury's already seen that picture. That is it states Exhibit 115, a picture of a white Lexus, which has been identified as belonging to the defendant, Brenda Delgado. You took that picture, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I want to kind of go through these pictures so the jury understands what you saw and what you did that day. Let me go to State's Exhibit 116. Which side of the vehicle are we looking at here?
The passenger side.
I think the jury kind of understands by now your job at first is to go around the exterior to take a look at the vehicle. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
So this is exhibit 117. What are we looking at?
I try to take photos of the corners of each vehicle to try to get as much of the vehicle in as possible.
In 118, we're looking at the rear driver's side.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to 119. What are we looking at here?
The front left side, or driver's side.
Detective Rosenberg, going to State's Exhibit 120. Now what are we looking at?
The driver's seat and floorboard.
What do we see in 121?
That is the back seat.
On the driver's side?
Yes, sir.
122?
Back seat on the passenger side.
Now, looking here at 122, did you see any items of interest in the back seat of the vehicle or on the floor in the back of the vehicle there?
Yes, there's a white T-shirt and some gloves.
Okay, let's go to State's Exhibit 123. So I guess you pulled those out?
Yes, sir.
And again, it's not your job to determine what the evidentiary value is, just if it's something that in your training experience looks important, you mark it and you collect it. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
So looking at, with reference to State's Exhibit 123, placard number 1 there, what are those?
Those are latex gloves.
And in 124, would you see a closer up version of those?
Correct.
Now back to 123, looking at placard number 2. Let me go to State's Exhibit 125. Now we can see a close up. What is that?
It's a white tank top.
And that was on the floor floorboard there when you originally found it?
Yes, sir.
Detective, let's go to State's Exhibit 126. Now we'll look at the passenger's side floorboard and seat there. Now, when you went through this vehicle in the interior, I want to go to State's Exhibit 127. What is in the seat now? That's the passenger seat in State's Exhibit 127.
And brass knuckles with keys on it.
State's Exhibit 128, that's a more close-up view.
Correct.
So those, you saw these in this vehicle when you conducted your processing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You want me to approach the witness?
You may.
Detective Rosenberg, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 137. Is this
Yes, sir. Those are
the
them.
keys that you saw in the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
So these were keys that were identified as belonging to Crystal Cortez, and you found these in Brenda Delgado's vehicle, is that correct?
Found them in the vehicle. Yes, sir.
Did you go into the trunk of the vehicle as well?
Yes, sir.
To show the jury State's Exhibit 129, is that kind of how it looked when you first opened up the trunk?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to direct your attention and the jury's attention to kind of the right side there. What are those? What's that object there on the right side of the trunk?
Okay, they're binoculars.
Now, did you obviously there's some stuff in the back. Did you kind of pick up some of the stuff and look around to see if anything was underneath whatever those blankets or towels were?
Yes, sir.
So let's show the jury State's Exhibit 130. What do we see in State's Exhibit 130?
A baseball bat.
In State's Exhibit 131, do we see that bat up more closely?
Yes, sir.
It's marked by placard number 3. So let's show the jury State's Exhibit 132, placard number 4. Are those the binoculars that you saw?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put State's Exhibit 130 back up there, just so we're clear. Placard number 3 is the bat, placard number 4 is the binoculars, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You want me to approach the witness one last time?
You may.
Let me show you State's Exhibit 135. Detective, are these the binoculars that the jury sees up there on the screen in placard number 4?
Yes, sir.
These are the ones you picked out of the back of the Lexus.
Yes, sir.
Detective, let me show you State's Exhibit number 136. What's this?
Baseball bat.
Is this the bat that the jury sees in the picture that was collected from Brenda Delgado's vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Detective, let me ask you this. You know, this bat's metal, right?
Yes, sir.
In your experience and your understanding of what our law is this bat something that, you know, in its manner of use, and let me give you a hypothetical, hitting somebody with this, beating somebody with this bat, would that be capable, this bat be capable of causing serious bodily injury or death to a human being?
Yes, sir.
And under our laws, would that be a deadly weapon?
Yes, sir.
Detective, thanks for coming down and answering my questions. That's all I have, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
When did you conduct this evaluation of the car, take the pictures, that sort of thing? What date?
September 16, 2015.
September 16, you photographed it. This was done pursuant to a search warrant, correct? Or do you know?
That I'm not sure. It is Homicide Detective Barnes was out there.
When did they seize this car?
I have no idea.
I mean, use your paperwork. I don't expect you to remember.
I don't know when they seized the car.
You know when it got to the pound.
I have no idea.
Permission to approach. You're the one that got this bat. I assume you played baseball as a kid, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That right there. Hold it. Baseball or softball?
Baseball.
Where do you usually play?
That's a long time ago.
It's longer for me.
I didn't care for baseball.
All right, well, once. All right. Let's cheat on the exam. ASA, is that the American Softball Association or U.S. Softball, whatever that? Is it softball bat?
Okay.
What is it? Or do you know?
I don't know. It's a baseball bat to me.
Does it not feel lighter?
Judge, at this point, I think it's been asked and answered, and they're kind of kicking it to the horse here.
The softball bat can kill someone too.
Oh, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I mean, if I came running at you with this thing, you'd at least go to your aspirin.
No, I'd shoot you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming down, sir. You have a very nice day. Thank you.
All right.
No further questions.
Thank you, sir. You may sit down. You're free.
All right.
You're free.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Please take this one.
Please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Jeanne, Jeanne, MulCahy, MulCahy.
And Ms. MulCahy, where do you work?
AT&T.
And what do you do for AT&T?
Today, right now, I'm a records custodian.
How long have you been employed with AT&T?
Over 30 years.
What other positions have you held with AT&T?
I manage the Legal Compliance Center, which responds to subpoenas and court orders from law enforcement and defense attorneys.
And as your job as the custodian of records, what do you do basically?
Appear in court to authenticate the records that we provided in response to a subpoena or court order.
Do you spend a lot of time on the plane?
I do sometimes.
May I post what picture? You may. I'm going to show you what's been marked as 315 and States Exhibit 294 and States Exhibit 293. Do you recognize the disc in States Exhibit 294?
I do.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the records that are on this disc?
Yes, I have.
And what about States Exhibit 293?
No, I've reviewed it, recognize it.
And so when you talk about being a legal compliance, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about how that process works
The process,
for legal compliance and legal
sure. We receive electronic copies of subpoenas, court orders, search warrants from attorney, prosecutors, law enforcement, defense attorneys, civil attorneys, to produce records on our customers. The task of the analysts who handle that job is to review the legal document for accuracy, make sure it tracks to the law, make sure it's asking for what's authorized by that type of process, and then gather the records and return them to the requesting party.
Okay. And when you all respond to the requesting party, is that typically done via email?
Most of the time, yes.
Is that just for efficiency purposes because of size of documents?
It is.
And prior to coming and testifying today, were you able to verify that the documents that are on this disc are the same documents in which AT&T responded to a legal subpoena?
I did, yes.
And are these documents kept in the regular course of business at AT&T?
Yes, they are.
Has there been any addition or deletions or changes made to these documents?
No.
State is going to offer State's Exhibit 6 for record purposes.
I'm sorry, which number?
315 for record purposes, and States 293 and 294 for all purposes.
Oh, I love one. Thank you very much.
For record purposes, can you state which phone number this is?
For record purposes, this is phone number on. This is the phone number. The records were requested for a 972-467-7995.
To this one, we have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, admitted. Now, Ms. MulCahy, I've been working on that for 2 days. MulCahy, I'm sorry. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And if you look to you see the screen there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so this is State's Exhibit 294, which is the mobility with cell location. Can you explain to the jury what this document contains?
It contains a list of call records. There may be text messages if they were present and requested, and there could be data transmissions. It's just a call log from the time that the legal process received was requested, so from one day to another day.
Okay, and so when we're looking at this document, it indicates several columns going from left to right. The first column is considered what is called item. Is that just how you all identify the particular call or text?
It's just a line item, yeah.
And then the second column is that connection date?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And connection time. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that very basic, the date and time of the call?
The date and time, the date is very basic. The time is always presented in UTC time, which is Universal Time Connection, very similar to GMT. So it has to be converted when you're using the records based on the time of year and the time zone that you're in.
Okay. So for instance, item line number 1, it says connection time 05, 33, and 35 seconds, but that is in UTC time, correct?
That's correct.
And so you all do not do the conversions for UTC to what the actual time was at the time, for instance, in Dallas, Texas, when this call is made?
No, we don't.
Okay. And then the next item is seizure time.
That's the time from when the send button is pushed until it's actually connected.
I'm sorry, I need just 1 second, please. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And so when we talked about UTC time, is there a reason why AT&T uses UTC time?
It's just to normalize the records because we have clients, customers all over the country and out of the country. So it just normalizes the time.
Okay. So it makes it a standard.
Yes, ma'am.
Standard time zone versus doing Eastern and then doing Central.
Correct.
Okay, understand. And then originating number, what does that mean for us?
That's the number that actually started the transaction, the call or the text message.
And then terminating means end? Or what's on the receiving?
Yes, that's the party that received the call.
Okay. Now I want to move over to cell location. Let's talk a little bit about that. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what is the distinction or the identification for the first set of numbers you're looking at there?
Sure. So the first set of numbers, followed by the colon, is what we call a LAC. It stands for Location Area Code. And it's just a geographic area that is made up of many different cell sites. The second item is called the CID, the cell identification, and that's the actual identifier for the actual cell site, the physical tower that processed the call.
Okay. And so, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I should have made that screen touchable. If you can circle the LAC is what you respond to next.
Wow, that's not a very good circle. But it's the number that begins with 133.
So the number that begins with 133. That number.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the number that begins with 522.
That's the cell ID. So that's the unique identifier for the cell site that actually processed that particular call.
And then what about the number beginning with 97.126?
So that's, everybody talks about Latin long, that's actually the longitude. And the next number after that is the latitude. That's the actual physical location of the cell site.
So anytime a phone call or text message is made using this device, that cell location would register.
Correct.
Okay. Is that something that can be manipulated?
No.
Now, I'm showing you what has been admitted as State Exhibit 293. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at?
It's the document that identifies the person who's financially responsible for the phone, the person who's using the phone, the billing address, the service address, different details that are really the profile of that phone number.
And again, the phone number that we're discussing is the 972-467-7995. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I see that there is some type of indication saying August 31st of 2015. What was that about?
Where it says missed inactive?
Yes.
Okay, that means that phone was active from the first date until the last date, which is the August 31st, 2015.
Okay, so it was activated on this particular account on December 21st of 2013 and deactivated from this person, I guess, August 31st of 2015?
That's correct.
And the contact home email address for that phone number is listed as what? Do you see that here?
I can see it. It's Brenda BD@gmail.com.
And then looking on the next page of this document, we're looking at, it says billing party. Now, who is the current billing party of this phone line now?
Brenda Delgado.
And when was that MSISDN active started?
On August 31st, 2015.
So is this, are these documents and that activity consistent with an individual taking a line from, I guess, a plan and becoming financially responsible for that line on their own?
Yes, we call that a transfer of authorization.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may stand down. You're free to leave the courthouse.
Thank you for the cough drop.
You're welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Kenneth LeCesne, that's KENNETHLE, capital CESNE.
And Mr. LeCesne, where do you work?
I work for T-Mobile, Metro PCS Cellular Telephone Company, and my office is in Richardson, Texas.
And what do you do with them?
My official title is Records Custodian / Testifier.
And what does that entail?
When I'm assigned to a specific case, I usually travel. I attend court, and I authenticate, certify, and explain phone records that are involved in a particular case.
And how long have you been doing that?
Since August of 2011.
And what did you do before that?
I actually retired twice. I retired from the Dallas Police Department back in 2005 after 24 years of service. I also did 2 years as a reserve for free, working on cold homicide cases. I then went to a big IT company, Perot Systems Corporation, and I was the security director there until Dell Computers bought us back in 2010.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how does your company respond to legal demands for cell service or cell phone records?
We have 3 offices, one in Richardson, one in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and one in Parsippany, New Jersey. That's where the LER team is located, the people that handle the legal demands that come into the company. When a legal demand comes into the company, whether it comes in from the government, from the police, or from non-governmental attorneys, insurance companies, medical officials, when that legal demand comes in, we will process the legal demand and send back what is listed in the legal demand. The legal demand has to be signed by a judge. Legal demands come in the form of subpoenas. From the government, they come in the form of search warrants and court orders and subpoenas also.
May I proceed with the attorney? I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 142, 143, and 144. Have you had an opportunity to review the records on these?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in States Exhibit 143, these are cell phone tower and subscriber information for a phone number relating to 214-721-5863. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
In States Exhibit 144, this is cell phone tower and subscriber information for a phone number 214-229-7810. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how does Metro PCS start that question? When an individual wants to purchase a phone through Metro PCS, do you all require identification?
From Metro PCS?
Yes.
Metro PCS is an advanced pay company. In other words, you pay as you go, $40 for 30 days of service. So there's no credit check done. So the identity of the person is not verified when they open the account.
Okay. So for instance, if I wanted to go open up a account and use the name Blue Flag, would I let that happen?
You can use any name you want to because there's no verification of the identity of the person because there's no credit check done.
So subscriber information is not always accurate?
If it's a Metro phone, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were these records, when you looked at them, were these the same records that your company, Metro PCS, sent out in return for the court order subpoena that you received?
That's correct.
And were there any deletions or alterations made to these records?
No, ma'am.
Were these records kept in a regular course of business?
Yes, ma'am.
stateful offer states 143 and 144 for all purposes, and states exhibit 142 for record purposes.
Nothing in addition to the same running objection that we made pursuant to defendant's trial objection one.
Thank you.
Are they in favor, Jeff?
Yes, I'm sorry, thank you.
Commissioner McCullough?
You may.
Now, Mr. LeCesne, we are looking at State's Exhibit 144, which is the subscriber information sheet for phone number 214-229-7810. And who was the subscriber on that phone?
The name that was given at the time the account was opened is a Kristopher Cortez.
And looking at the cell tower information for Crystal Cortez's phone, reading from left to right, I want to talk a little bit about first lat, first long. Can you explain to the jury what that means?
The first lat, L-A-T, is an abbreviation for latitude. First latitude. First long is an abbreviation. Long is an abbreviation for longitude. It's a decimal. The latitude is a positive decimal number. The longitude is a negative decimal number. If an individual who was making an investigator was trying to map out the approximate location of the phone in relation to the tower that handled the phone call at the beginning of the call and at the end of the call, they would input that information into the software they're using to create a map to actually show where the phone was in relation to the tower. Not the exact location, just where the phone was in relation to the tower that handled the call at the beginning of the call and at the end of the call.
And when you say the beginning and end, is that represented by first and last?
That's correct.
And that would be your last, is that correct?
That would be the last latitude. The negative decimal number would be the last longitude.
Now, let me ask you this question. This jury just heard some information from an AT&T representative how their phones are in UTC time. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how Metro PCS displays their call times?
On these particular records, during this particular time period, if you look at column H, it actually has the time zone that the records are in. If you look at column I, it has time zone type. The T stands for tower. The S stands for switching station. The switching station is the computer that creates the call details, these records. They're also pulled from that computer when the legal demand comes into the company. That's how we pull the records for the time period requested in the legal demand and send it back to the requester. And it will either, the time zone type, there's actually a system on here, in column H, it tells you Central Standard Time or Central Daylight Time, depending on the date of the particular call. And it will tell you the time zone type. It will either be the tower that determines the type or the switch. T stands for tower, S stands for switching station.
Okay. Looking at State's Exhibit 143 and the subscriber information on that particular phone, who was the subscriber information for?
That particular phone number is 214-721-5863. The subscriber name is Casino, that's K-A-S-I-N-O, last name of Jackson.
Okay. And the subscriber address was given with 7272 Marvin D. Love.
Yeah, Marvin D. Love Freeway, Dallas, Texas, in the zip code.
Okay. And are you familiar with that area?
I'm familiar with that area. I actually pass it every day when I come to Dallas because I live in Cedar Hill.
Is that area commonly known as Surrey Road?
Is what?
Surrey Road apartment complex down.
I'm not sure the name of the apartment complex, but I'm familiar with that area because I've lived down there for many, many years.
And is that down off the 67-35 split
Off 67.
of 67?
Yes.
Pass away.
No questions?
Thank you. Proceed now. You're free to leave.
Thank you, Judge.
State calls Randall Thompson.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Randall Thompson, RandallThompson.
And Mr. Thompson, where do you work?
I work at Thompson Bearings.
And what is that?
It's a power transmission and bearing shop. We work with different industries, providing equipment for mechanical parts.
Prior to working for Thompson Bearings, where did you work for that, before that?
T-Mobile.
How long did you work with T-Mobile?
Total of 10 years.
And what did you do there?
I was manager of law enforcement relations.
And as a manager of law enforcement relations, can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what was some of your responsibilities?
As the manager of law enforcement relations, I had analysts that worked under me. Our main day-to-day operation was to respond to court orders, subpoenas, and search warrants provided by law enforcement and attorneys around the country. These orders that they would submit to us were specifically for telephone records.
Okay. And when you work these orders, typically do y'all just kind of work them as you go? Once one comes in, or they put in a pile and you grab the next one?
Everything came in electronically, so we all had a computer that we worked off of. As the information would come in, we would work the first one that was on the list and go in basically just that order.
At some point, did you get an order from, I guess, AUSA Rick Capital?
Yes.
Okay. And he requested that you pull some cell phone records for him under that order?
Correct.
And did he express to you the urgency of that?
Yes, he did.
And when I say AUSA, is that an assistant United States attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And he requested that you assist him if possible?
Yes.
And can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what were you tasked with?
The order requested information on a specific cellular number for a specific time frame. What they were looking for, I had no clue at that moment, just that it was important due to something that occurred.
Okay. And did you gather all of these records for him?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall about how many different cell phone numbers that you were tasked with pulling?
If I remember correctly, it was about 4 numbers total at that point.
Okay. Once you had all of these numbers, what did you do next with them?
The next thing that he asked me is to determine if there was any similarities with these 4 numbers. And by similarities, I mean, was there evidence of communication between these numbers amongst each other in any form or fashion? So I spent the next couple of days sifting through those records, looking for any connectivity between each number with another like number in that group.
And did you at some point identify a common number that was used amongst all of the phones?
Yes.
Just for the record purposes, she's saying all phones, can we identify which one, the phone numbers that we're referring to?
Just 1 minute, thank you. And for the record purposes, one of the phone numbers you were looking at was 214-229-7810. Another phone number, 469-394-1752. And there were other phone numbers, I think maybe 2 or 3 other phone numbers that you were looking at, is that correct?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
And did you identify, you said one number that these phones had in common?
Yes.
How long did it take you to sift through all that information?
It took a couple of days.
And what was the one number that you identified was the common denominator?
Honestly, right now, it's been a while since I've looked at anything involving that case. I don't remember the specific number, but that was the information that I did report back to the AUSA.
Okay. And so if I tell you 214-721-5863 was the number in which you identified as a common number, would you agree with me, or would you believe me if I told you that?
Yes, that does sound familiar.
That number sounds familiar?
Yes.
And when you identified that phone number, what did you do next?
At that point, I was out of it as I had provided him the information requested. And I just waited to see if there were any further instructions or any other need that they may have for me.
And did you have any further need in that? Or did they need you to do anything else?
No, not at that point.
And so we're clear. You had to sift through, as we looked at call detail records from 2 of those phone numbers earlier. You had to sift through all of these numbers, which may have been thousands of phone calls between individuals, and you determined that this one number was a common factor in all of these phones.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Say all of these phone numbers, and those are tying into a 214-721 number, correct?
I believe so, yes, sir.
When we say all these numbers, these were numbers given to you by a federal prosecutor, correct?
Which number specifically?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. The only lady that's on trial is one sitting over here, and that number wasn't common to these. Truthful statement?
I don't know. I don't have the records to review.
Did you? Well, you just testified that you reviewed this, and these are exact copies of what y'all had.
No, sir. I said I had reviewed records prior, back when I worked for T-Mobile.
All right, how long has it been since you left?
Over 2 years.
All right. The bottom line is it's common to numbers you were given, correct?
Yes.
You later learned that the number you're talking about belongs to a guy named Kristopher Love, correct?
I would have to review the records to be able to make that statement.
All right. The bottom line is, you were given several numbers and you looked for ones that were common to one. And the one was that 721, excuse me, area code 214-721-5683. She's telling you, but do you trust us? That's probably Kristopher Love's number.
Again, I would have to review the record to make a affirmative statement to that, yes.
All right, I mean, that's the number she just gave you, right?
Yes.
Bottom line is, those other people, they said these other numbers, see what they are. You don't know who they are, correct?
Some of them I did. We had to pull the subscriber information on those numbers.
What I'm getting at is common to these other numbers does not mean common to the number of the lady who is on trial here today, correct?
I have no idea.
In other words, that's what I'm getting at. In other words, you are not sitting here saying that this number, identified as 214-721-5683, was common to the number of the person who on trial, I'll tell you, is Brenda Delgado. You're not saying that, are you?
I don't know what her number is.
Her number is 972-46.
I'm sorry, please slow down.
I'm sorry. 972-496-7996. I apologize. Sorry. 972. 972-469-7996. Right? That's not one of the common numbers. Or do you believe it is one of the common numbers?
I would have to have the records to make that statement.
All right. Bottom line is this. All of this stuff is automated, correct?
What stuff, sir?
When it generates all these phone records, a computer generates all this stuff, correct?
A computer records the information, but the individuals utilizing their cell phones create the records.
The records that you get, if I make a phone call with my cell phone, the records you get are in your office off your computer, correct?
They're off the network, yes.
You're not getting records out of my phone, you're getting it off your system, whatever phone company you have to be, correct?
You get the record from the network that records the information, yes.
Well, here's what I'm getting at. Can you, as an individual employee of that company, can you manipulate what's there?
No, sir.
So if I make this phone call through, and I'll tell you, I use AT&T. If I make a phone call through AT&T, there's going to be an AT&T record generated by my phone calling whoever I'm calling, correct?
I assume so. I don't know about AT&T's network or their capabilities.
Stand to reason all these companies keep records of this, right?
It is a requirement, yes.
My point, though, is nobody at AT&T is going to be able to change it and make me make a phone call that I didn't make, correct?
No.
They're going to know that it came from my phone and it went to somebody else's phone, correct?
That's the general principle, yes.
All right. So whatever it was, there's going to be a record of the actual phone calls made between this 721 number, either to or from. And the records more or less speak for themselves, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Pass witness.
No further questions. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
Please state your name and spell your name for the record.
Sure, it's Gregory Joe Duggar. Last name is spelled D-U-G-G-E-R.
And Mr. Duggar,
I'm sorry, what did you say the first name was?
Gregory.
Excuse me. do you currently work?
No, I am currently retired from the Dallas Police Department.
And how long have you been retired?
I left in January 2017, but actually stopped working cases in late 2016.
And how much time did you spend with the Dallas Police Department?
I hired on in 1989, so about 27 and a half years.
And prior to retirement, what section did you work in?
I was assigned to the Child Exploitation Unit and assigned to a task force that handled internet crimes against children.
In some of your duties, were you tasked with, I guess, doing what we commonly term as a cell phone dump?
Yes, ma'am, we did that, and assistance with other units by doing cell phone dumps and extractions, and also doing it for our own cases.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen what a cell phone extraction or a cell phone dump is?
It's basically, in simple terms, it's a way of extracting data from a cell phone to a computer using a specialized computer software program. The phone is connected to the computer, the program walks you through the steps, and it takes the data from the phone to the computer so that you can put it into a report for others to review and look at.
Is it a complicated task to perform?
It isn't for me, no. My experience with it is very simple, and it leads you through, the program does, step by step to accomplish the end result.
May I post a minute, Sean? You may. I am showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 145, 146, and then State's Exhibit 141. Do you recognize these items?
Yes, ma'am. We looked at them earlier as well.
And what do you recognize State's Exhibit 141 to be?
It is a cell phone that belonged to Kristopher Love, the one that I performed the cell phone extraction on.
And in State's Exhibit 146, what is contained on this disc?
This contains the UFED report, UFED report that was a result of the extraction of the data from Kristopher Love's cell phone.
And what is the UFED report? What is that?
The UFED stands for the product that we use, and I think it stands for Universal Forensic Extraction Device. The UFED report is the software, the report that's created by the software itself. It takes the data that's from the phone and puts it into either a PDF or a UFED report that can be searched by an investigator later.
State will offer State's Exhibit 145 for record purposes, 146 for all purposes, and 141 for all purposes.
No objection to 145 for record purposes, no objection to 141 and 146, those being the 141 being the cell dump for Kristopher Love, 146 being the UFED report.
Admitted. Thank you, Your Honor. Commissioner Purpose? Yes, ma'am, you may. Now, on defendant Kristopher Love's phone, he had a unique sticker on it, which is how you were able to identify it easily.
It brought back my memory when it had the sticker for a alcoholic beverage attached to the back of the phone.
Okay. And when you put the data information on the phone dump, what do you do with it?
Once it's completed and the reports have been generated, it's given to the requesting investigator or detective that brought the phone down, and it becomes their responsibility to review it for whatever content may be important to their case.
Okay. And so you don't look at the dump, you basically pass it on to someone else to do.
That's correct.
Pass the witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may stand down here freely before the
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, members of the jury, we stand at recess until tomorrow morning. We'll see you at 4:00.
All rise.
judge up here? We'll have,
These are long days.
We all take your time before you leave.
that's a comment towards me right there is what that is.
I just don't have time to go through it all before you leave, so can you just check everything?
You can be so jacked up on timelines.
Okay.
We're still on
Partner, when they come to grow better, no. Reminder not to.
your time for it again. We're going to go line by line.